We're going to do a work application, and this is actually going to fit into a nice grid approach. So my problem is you and a friend are going to design a website. Your friend's more experienced and can do the site in 6 hours less time than you can. Together, you can design the website for the client in 4 hours. How many hours would it take you alone? There's a nice grid for how to do this, and it goes like this. If we put in the number of hours, or it might be minutes, together, I sometimes think of it together, over rate A plus number of hours together over rate B, that equals one entire job. That's the grid. Because however long it takes you, for example, if it takes you 3 hours, in 1 hour you do 1/3. In so many hours you do so many thirds. So it's a fraction. The portion of the job that can be done by one person plus the portion by another equals one entire job. For each problem, we have to identify what is rate A, what is rate B, and what is number of hours together. Sometimes I just call it the together part. This is the formula that you can memorize that's going to give you the equations for your problem. So rate is the number of hours it takes each of you working alone. So we don't know how long you take. We'll call you X. And the friend can do the site in 6 hours less time. So that would be X minus 6. But the number of hours that you work together for one entire job is 4. We're now ready to set up the equation. So using this grid, we have 4 over X plus 4 over X minus 6 equals 1. And I'm going to write the 1 like this. We're now going to proceed to solve this fractional rational equation. Looking at, we can see our restrictions. And our restrictions are X can't equal 0 from the first denominator, or X minus 6 can't be 0, X can't equal 6. And what that says with the problem is you can't have me working no time or me working the whole time. Looking at this, we see that the lowest common denominator is each denominator, the most number of times it occurs. We have the X occurred once and the X minus 6 once. So our LCD is X times X minus 6. We're now ready to multiply everything by that lowest common denominator. X, X minus 6, X, X minus 6. Now we never multiply this. We first do our canceling. X goes into X once, and we are left with 4 parentheses X minus 6 plus X minus 6 cancels, 4X equals nothing to cancel, so I'm going to put X times X minus 6. We're now going to distribute to get rid of parentheses. We get 4X minus 24 plus 4X equals X times X is X squared minus 6X. We now combine like terms. We have 8X minus 24 is X squared minus 6X. The minute we see it's quadratic, we're going to get a 0 on one side. So we subtract 8X. We add 24. And the whole purpose was to get 0. And we have X squared minus 14X plus 24. We are now ready to finish this by using the zero product theorem, which means we have to factor. Factoring, I get 0 is X minus 12, X minus 2. Now I set each one equal to 0. I get X is 12 or X is 2. I can't have two answers. So if I go back here for a minute, I see if I let x be 2, rate b becomes a negative value. You can't have negative hours. So that's the one I reject. And since x was my rate, I now have the solution that if I were to do the website alone, it would take me 12 hours.